It's okay for me. I got myself some wine today.
Ooh, that's beautiful. What kind of wine is that? It looks like a white.
It is a Sauvignon Blanc.
Sauvignon?
Sauvignon.
A Sauvignon?
Keeping it classy.
Give me that like French side smirk thing. Like, There it is.
Oh. No, I don't. I'm not making fun of anybody.
Making fun
myself.
of the French. I thought making fun of the French is okay. Is that not okay?
No, they make fun of us as equally.
Yeah, so I think it's a give and take.
Yeah, that's true.
Hi there, and welcome to the JRPG Pursuit, a podcast for all things JRPGs. I'm Emily.
I'm Branden.
And I'm Abdallah.
And today we are getting back to our roots of collecting on this episode. And
It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
We've been talking about, I think, collecting from the start of the podcast, but we haven't talked about it recently. So we wanted to get back into, the JRPG collecting scene and whether or not we feel as affected by FOMO these days.
Oh, yeah.
Have you guys been buying a lot of like recent or older releases in your collections?
Lately I've been on a low buy.
Yeah.
I've been trying to, between trying to find a new job. And then also just having so many games to play, like in this period of time. It's been just kind of created the situation for me where I'm like not spending a lot.
Yeah.
You don't feel
But I'm
compelled
jonesing
to buy physical right away, right?
Yes.
Similarly, I'm not officially on a low buy. I haven't claimed that necessarily, but I did go to Japan earlier this year, and that did cost all the money. So I have been, not buying as much, waiting for sales if I do pick up certain things. Yeah. Like I just picked up, I had reviewed Dragon Quest III HD 2D last year when that came out. But I hadn't gotten the physical yet, and I saw it was on sale, and I really wanted to have it in my collection, so I picked it up on sale. And that's kind of what I'm having to do just until I get the financial ship steady, right? But it's a little bit less than usual.
Yeah, and I think these days we kind of have known patterns for a lot of these publishers, right? When it comes to physical releases, most of them, often have sales a couple months or sometimes even weeks after a new release comes out. So for me, if I don't have enough time to play a game day one, it often doesn't feel right to pick it up day one, right? Especially if you're paying full MSRP. I know in some European countries, it's sometimes cheaper to pre-order games at a discount rather than wait for sales like a year later. But those are not sales that happen here in the US.
No.
I can't think of anyone who has discounted pre-orders nowadays.
That's not a thing.
Maybe Costco. Yeah. Costco could be like $5 or $10 off potentially on a release, but it's not a pre-order. You just go in there and be like, oh, you happen to have this game. It's usually just a first-party Nintendo game, not like anything else.
Yeah, exactly. It's not every first-party either. It's just like a very randomly picked out.
Exactly. It's like I went into Costco last week when Pokemon Legends ZA dropped, and I noticed it was $5 off. I was like, I didn't know that this would be here today, but okay.
Yeah.
I didn't pick it up because it was still $65, and I wasn't planning to play the game anytime soon.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of miss the days where I think was it Walmart? They used to have $10 off MSRP within the first week of a game's release. Across all platforms.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Those.
I know. It's like we're not. That's the state of the world and everything. Everything's just become more expensive, and a lot of those deals are gone.
Become more expensive, and they de-incentivize early adoption, which is crazy because all of their metrics for their shareholders, they're all dependent on how quickly a game is selling out the gate. Yeah. And they make it $70, $80 games now. Yeah. They're making it increasingly difficult to want to buy the game day one anyway.
Yeah.
And there's not many pre-order incentives, right? Extra bonus items nowadays. A couple companies still do it, and most of them, if they do it, it's some sort of cosmetic DLC, which I could care less for on a JRPG.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I really liked the days of like the PS1, PS2 pre-order bonuses. Like you pre-order at GameStop and you get like with Chrono Cross, you got that alarm clock or whatever. You just get like fun physical
Cool stuff.
things that
Yeah.
you can have and put on your shelf if you want to, or
'Cause,
sell
like,
if you want to. Like,
I remember my Xenosaga. Like when I pre-ordered Xenosaga for the PS2, I got a really cool poster and an art book
Wow.
for the game. So like, and that was just for
I remember
pre-ordering.
last time, an art book was
An
given
art
as
book
a
is-
pre-order incentive, other than maybe Fire Emblem Awakening, but I didn't pick it up at GameStop. I think they were offering that as a
Yeah.
pre-order.
was it
bonus
Xenosaga
at the time.
2 that had as a pre-order bonus the DVD that was just like the movie version
yeah.
of Xenosaga Episode 1? I still have that. I love that. That was like
Yeah.
a great way to
Cool.
catch up on the story. It's like,
Yep.
here's all 8 hours of cutscenes in like
That's
movie
so
form.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool. You
Love
can find
that,
it online
love
right now. Actually, it's not
Yeah.
it's not expensive to find.
No, it was pretty common. It wasn't like a
it's
big
common.
rare thing, but
So for those who didn't know
I
it
might
exists,
look into that.
yeah, because it's only like I think $15 to $20 for that DVD.
That's not bad.
it's a good deal.
I've been kind of envisioning, like a short little movie collection of video game related things. Like I have, Advent Children on like
Yeah,
Ultra HD Blu-ray, whatever
the
it's
4K.
called.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And maybe we'll get more, because it seems like a lot of series are going that path. But not to derail the conversation too much in that direction.
It wouldn't be us if we didn't.
Yeah, I know. It's true. But yeah, I just feel like I have less FOMO these days. Like I know when I was heavily into collecting, like when I first got back into it around 2020, I just felt like I
Yeah.
had to buy up all the releases and fear that they will go out of print and I'll no longer be able to buy them at a reasonable price.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys feel less of that these days too?
Far less.
Yes.
Far less. A lot of it is the market factors that we already kind of touched on, where it's like they're disincentivizing you to early adopt. Games do get reprinted now, which that wasn't a thing before a few years ago. I mean, very rarely would that happen.
Like on the sly, they reprinted it.
Yeah,
They didn't
they wouldn't-
announce a reprint,
They
but
wouldn't
now
make a big deal out of
Exactly.
it.
it's a big deal.
Now it's a big deal.
So yeah, all the things that used to, and it was kind of the same for me, right? Like when I started collecting, when I got back into video games hardcore and started collecting, like, there wasn't really as much FOMO. Well, no, I don't want to say that. There was a lot of FOMO for me with the classic games, because if I saw a game that was even $10 less than its ridiculously high market value, I'd be like, I have to get this, because if I don't, like, it's going to be even higher.
Yeah,
6 months from
deal.
now.
I know.
And I'm getting a little bit of a deal now, but like that's so much better. Like
You don't want to regret.
with Blue Reflection, right? Like Blue
Yes.
Reflection, this copy of this game right here was on sale at Midwest Gaming Classic for $200. It was the only copy on the show floor, and I went up to them and I was like, "Look, would you do 190 and make me feel like a winner? Would you make me feel like a winner today?" And he was like, "Sure, man, I'll do $190." 2 years later, this got a reprint and could be purchased for $50
40.
or whatever, $40. But like, at the time, it was like, okay, I'm getting a little bit of a deal on this game that is just going up and up and up and up. If I don't do it now, if I don't spring for this, I'm going to have to pay more later.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that is the case anymore. Like the
A
bubble
lot of
has
releases,
burst.
no.
From most releases, you're not going to fall into that at this point in time.
Yeah,
I think even classic games, because
possibility.
things have started to
The bubble
market
has burst a little bit.
has burst and it's starting to recede. Not that games are necessarily all coming down in price, but they're not.
No.
They're not on that same trajectory that they
climbing.
were. Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, for instance, like, I think, Branden, when you and I were going game hunting, I don't know, like a month ago at this point, they had the Art the Lad collection, which usually went for, like, upwards of $200 plus.
Yeah.
Dollars.
$180, $200. Yep.
And one of the places we saw, they had the box set for, it was like $90. It was like $90.
Yeah.
At the time. And so, like, that's a steal. Like, that's a substantial drop in cost, which I should have jumped on, but
Well,
maybe next time.
yeah. Maybe.
Do you guys think
No rush.
there's like less interest in physical collecting now too? Like I do feel like there's a little bit of like, I don't say it's less trendy, but a little bit less trendy. I think some people are more okay with going PC or, picking up just a couple releases physically if it's cheaper than the digital.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's going the route of any other media, right? Mm-hmm. Where most people stream movies on Netflix or Amazon or whatever. You know, most people stream their music on Spotify or Apple, whatever. Yeah. But the core like physical media people, I don't think they haven't gone away. I just think the broader market has accepted that video games are also that kind of thing, that they are primarily something that I subscribe to, like we talked about a couple weeks ago, or something that, you know, I just download on my PC or on my PlayStation, and I don't have any kind of physical artifact of that game. And that's fine. It was a thing of the past, right? To have the boxes on your shelf. For people that don't care about collecting, I think that's great. That's fantastic because, like, you save space, you save time. You know, you don't really save money. That's the downside. But well, you could save money on Steam sales, sure. But
sometimes if you play them,
sometimes
if they're just sitting there,
they're just sitting there. My Steam sale list of shame is like probably $1,000 deep of games that I bought over the years that I haven't played
for good prices.
Good prices, but they're never getting played. So
that's so true.
I'm just wondering on the retrospect aspect. I feel like a lot of collectors who were deep into JRPG collecting, they have the games they want.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're seeking out a lot of titles still. Like there may be a couple, like, you know, of the super rare ones. Let's say.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
That's like it's also like generational too, because like I think those games were nostalgic to us, and that's why we wanted to collect for it. So like a lot of the younger generation now, or a lot of the older generation, are slowly starting to stop collecting because they're getting older, or they're trying to,
and they've gotten everything.
Yeah, they've gotten either they've gotten everything, or they're looking to downsize to, like, you know, just help out their situation. Collection. Exactly. And then a lot of the younger generations are more, you know,
they're waiting for the remasters or remakes that they want to get an older JRPG.
Or they grew up
of those.
Or they grew up with like the 360 PS3, and so like
they grew up with different games, and they're going to be nostalgic for those.
Nostalgic waves happen.
10, 15 years,
because like what was like 6-7 years ago, like GameCube was like, you know, the hot thing, because that's like that generation was coming into.
So expensive, but
I know they're still expensive, but like that generation came into money, like with jobs, and so they're like, I'm going to buy that stuff.
So that's interesting that like if it's like Gen Z/Gen Alpha. That is due to be, you know, start being nostalgic for these things in the next few years. Pretty soon, like maybe a generation after that, that's not going to be a thing anymore. Because the reason we went out and started collecting games that we were nostalgic for is because we had to.
Yeah,
you couldn't just download them on your PlayStation or your PC. You had to buy the physical game. We're going to be entering into the generation where the games that they played from childhood were all available digitally to begin with.
Exactly.
So, you know, maybe some of them will want to have the PS4 game sitting on their shelf, but I think a lot of them are going to be like, well, I'll just go on Steam and just get all these games that I had when I was a kid. They're discounted now. They're super old.
Exactly.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. I guess there are some, like, I've noticed some younger people interested in physical media because of the ownership aspect. So I think there'll always be those people, but I don't think it's quite as large as maybe it was 5 years ago.
Yeah. There's
a shift in reason why they're collecting physically.
Yeah,
exactly.
The subset of like younger generations that are like switching to dumb phones and wanting to have, you know, physical products that do one thing instead of a smartphone that does everything, you know.
Yes.
Those are old souls, and I respect the heck out of that. But yeah, they're not, I don't think they're the majority, even though they get talked about as if they're like the big new trend. I think they're just like a small
the center of the universe,
of right? Yeah.
Yeah. And like what Branden was saying, like, you know, in terms of like the options, so they can choose between physical and digital. Whereas like back in our, you know, when we were like
you can emulate.
You can emulate, but like there's like even like, let's say PS2 emulation, and you know, those things, like a lot of people didn't have. Yeah, you might not have a computer that could have. I mean, nowadays it's much easier with like you can play PS2 on most anything at this point. But you know, so many years ago, your only option was
to ask a guy, could you mod this PS2 for me? You had to know a guy.
Exactly, or you'd have to just like buy the games, and there was no other digital version of those games. There was no way to do that, so you were just kind of stuck, whether buying the used market for it, which was either inflated or whatever it was, or not playing the game or playing it like emulated in some sort of way if you can. So it's just options these days. I think more people have the option to decide, like, I'm just going to spend less money and play it digitally.
And I think also when it comes to the rush of trying to get the new releases on your shelves, in fear of them, of course, not like running out of print, out of stock, and soaring up in prices, I think a lot of people are kind of shifting away from so-called investing in those like newer games to cards. I think there's been a rush for cards now. I'm guilty of this myself because of the Trails trading card game. I bought one initially, and now I felt when they sold out on Play Asia for the Trails trading card game, when VGP and PNP had it on there for like $45 more. I was like, oh, man, these are just getting more expensive. I should just buy these now. So I bought this box. It's on the way.
The FOMO has shifted.
It has shifted, honestly. Like, what is actually running out? What is the scarcity item that we are afraid will soar up in price? So for now, I think a lot of that's cards right now. Like if you looked at, Final Fantasy VII Magic cards, I think that was at Pokemon, of course. But
the problem with like those, it's the same thing with like, I would say like the WADA situation with like reused games, but like
that's intertwined for sure.
You have these external entities or people that are kind of manipulating or creating these kind of situations where like with cards, it's such a scalper situation where you have all these like people standing in front of like waiting for these things to show up on the shelf so that way they can just grab them all. Everyone's seen videos of like Costco like rampages where like they have these like people literally fighting each other for these boxes of Pokemon cards.
40-year-old guys like body slamming kids to get
like you have this dad with their child like trying to go like, hey, let's go buy a Pokemon card, and it's like 50-year-old man is like literally gonna looking at him like, I'll let you buy it for $100 more. But like that's the state of like that. Such a
and I mean TCGs have risen and fallen over the years too, just like games. I don't, I'm not an expert on that field. Obviously, I don't really play any of those, but I mean on the game side of it, it's for me, and I think we all are kind of in a similar place right now. It's like it doesn't feel as urgent anymore. It just doesn't seem to even the limited press people like limited run. Strictly limited. Really, it's limited run. The other ones are kind
Super
of also
rare games.
rans.
I would say it's another big one. In the UK.
In the UK. I don't think they've ever published a game that I was interested in. Did they do? No, they didn't do Chained Echoes. That was.
No, that's First Press Games, and they still haven't delivered. They claim that they're starting to. I'm like, really?
I don't buy it.
I don't believe it.
And now they're saying that the publisher or the printer who did the paper or something went out of business, and so they've been scrambling. I'm like, oh my God, excuse after excuse. What is this?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Poorly run. But anyway, like these
that's what
limited
it is, scam.
Limited press games,
literally
limited press studio or publishers that I used to, when a game that was like remotely in my wheelhouse would come up for pre-order on LRG, for example, I'd be like, okay, I got to get it, because if I don't, it's going to be expensive later, and I'm going to regret it. And I guess one thing that I've learned is just to embrace a little bit of regret. Just accept a little bit of regret every now and then, because it doesn't actually matter all that much. Like there are now I do have some limited run games still on pre-order from like ages ago, but like I haven't done any new ones since Trails, and I only did Trails because I needed a steelbook, and that was the only way to get it.
Trails.
If there had been an alternative, I would have taken the alternative, because it probably would have been here by now. Would have been here by now. But it's all I got
they
my
shipped it the other day.
I got my shipping notification finally, but it's like 3 weeks after the game came out.
I know.
Very bad.
Excuse after excuse of why.
Excuse after excuse, and then
they promised.
Sorry, just to rant for a minute.
Let's do it.
Let's do a Branden rant. Let's do it.
They put out an email to people who pre-ordered the Trails limit, the steelbooks and all that limited, and they were like, the day that the game came out, and they're like, hey guys, look, we got some bad news. The stuff hasn't come. We don't have it. We haven't been able to put it together because it hasn't come. It's like, you knew that. You guys knew that weeks, if not months ago. Weeks, if not months ago, you knew that. You chose to wait until the day of release to announce this. you are not a well-run company. Stop doing this. And publishers, please don't make us go through this again. Like Gung Ho, Sega, please stop, because without a massive overhaul of their
infrastructure,
supply chain, their infrastructure, like
logistics,
it is damaging your brand with the people that you need to impress, which is us. We are the people that are buying physical games are your most hardcore fans.
Exactly.
If somebody casually buys a digital game on Steam sale, they are not the audience that you are needing to curry favor with. It is us. People listening to this podcast likely also fall into this category. Like, we are the people that are deeply interested in this genre and in these games. And you have unfortunately left a bad taste in my mouth for you as well, like by going this route and taking what I'm sure was a good deal for you. I'm sure it was cheaper than any alternative. I get it. But like, at what cost? You have other costs besides just the literal bottom line. There are other costs associated with these things, and fan favor and perception is a big cost. That's it. Thank you for coming to my rant talk.
I always appreciate that.
Yeah. Thank you.
I hope you guys too.
Where are the people?
Yep.
But anyway, so because of things like that, and also just like learning to accept a little bit of regret and be fine with it, I don't feel like I need to pre-order a limited run release unless it's something that I legitimately, as soon as it's available, I want to play it. And that doesn't happen very often. And it doesn't happen very often.
And also, like, a lot of the limited run stuff is actually like either showing up on VGP or they're getting major releases, post retail.
Well, so VGP though they're just buying it from limited run.
They're
so
just buying it from limited run.
They're making an order.
They're putting in an order. They're getting a shipment.
They have some sort of relationship.
They're getting a bulk quantity in from limited run.
They're getting a kickback for selling it through their website.
So you're getting the game just as if you had ordered it from limited run, only slightly later, because you have to wait for VGP to get it and ship it out, and sometimes slightly more expensive. But you're right to your point about like retail releases. Some of these games, the more popular games, will end up just getting separate retail releases as well.
Also better when it comes to the disc and cart quality. Sometimes they got no bugs on there.
Yeah,
they're able to make
extra content.
Exactly.
So there are so many. I feel like now the market has really shifted fully to there are more positives to waiting than there are negatives. The negative is for those games that don't get any kind of retail release, and do just shoot up in price. Yeah, if you want to buy that, you're going to have to pay up. But I feel like that's more of an exception than a rule. Yeah.
It's not, I think,
very few now.
If you look at, the average cost of how much you spend on games, and if you're more patient, be more selective about the titles, and if some pass you by, even if you have to pay them at a premium price, you might be saving more just on the long run. Regression to the mean and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And for me, like, I think, like, Brandon's already has said this before, is that, like, even if I'm spending a little bit more later down the line when I do actually want to play it, that's fine. It's like, I don't need to, I'm not going to play it right now. So I'm going to buy it. It's going to sit on my shelf, and, it's going to end up like my Steam library where it's just like shameful. So like, I'll kind of think of it in the way of like, I'll buy the game whenever I plan to actually sit down and play it.
I paid $190 for this game, right? I loved the heck out of it. Yeah. And like, if I had bought it when it came out for $60 originally, it probably would have sat on my shelf, and I probably would have not gotten to it. Maybe ever. It happens. Like, what do I have here? .hack GU sealed. It's sealed. Am I ever going to open .hack GU? I don't know. Maybe not.
Maybe.
So that's what FOMO. That's what I've heard. But that's what FOMO gets me. That's what it has taught me from 6-7 years of collecting, is more often than not, I actually regret the FOMO purchase than I experienced like true FOMO.
But I do understand that like a lot of people can't afford to pay like $190 for a game later on. And
sure.
that is definitely a thing. So I don't want to like make sure, it's not saying like everyone can have that opportunity to do that, but at the same time, it's like you can pick and choose the games that you want to play based on what you want to like play at the moment.
Yeah, and be proud of yourself. I like all these games. I didn't just buy this impulsively because I thought I had fear that it was going to, shoot up in price.
And if we're talking about modern games, like if I really just wanted to play Blue Reflection, I could have got it on Steam. Exactly. I could have got it on PlayStation Network digitally for cheap. Like it was because I wanted the physical, item,
exactly.
So it's not like, you don't have to spend $200 on a rare game that you decided after the fact that you do want, if you just want to play it. So I'm not trying to suggest that you need to spend a lot of money. But what I am saying is that I was willing to do that because I truly wanted it and truly wanted to play it. And so it was an investment in fun for me, right? Exactly. I was willing to make that investment in fun for myself. And I was able to at that point.
Yeah. I will say, though, like, as someone who has FOMO purchased plenty of limited print games, I have like a stack now I'm trying to sell. And some of them are just hard to, get out the door because unfortunately, a lot of those limited print companies just made physical games releases for a lot of games that are not that great or that desirable.
Not very
interesting.
Yeah. Not very
So I think that's also part of it. Why I don't feel like I need to get every single JRPG that a limited print company does because they're not all created equal.
That's true.
They've kind of devalued, like, even though it's a rare, you can only buy this in this limited window of time, doesn't mean I necessarily need it for that collection.
Right.
Exactly.
Behind me.
I mean, it's when it's like an indie game, you have the opportunity typically, almost always, to play the game well in advance of any kind of physical release through some limited print company. Yes. So you can decide at that point, like, as a collector, like, am I going to pick up if they ever do a Quartet physical? Am I going to pick it up? Yeah, I'm going to pick up the Quartet physical because I played it.
100%.
I loved it. I want to have it as part of my collection. So I don't need to FOMO buy every indie JRPG even that comes out, even though like there's no other way to get them except digitally. I can just decide kind of, in advance if I'm going to wait and get it or if I'm not. And for Quartet, I'll probably pre-order Quartet. But another game that looks interesting but I haven't played, I will probably not pre-order that.
Yeah.
I think that's a good principle because I think I was introduced to a lot of indie titles because they're getting a physical release. I'm like, oh, what is this? It's piquing my interest. Should I buy this? Because it looks like something I would like, but I don't have time to play it right now.
Yeah.
I think that's where I fell in a trap a lot of the times.
Same. It was really, really easy to fall into that trap as, somebody who wants to have the things physically and understands that, especially earlier in our collecting, right? Or in our combined collecting, like there was a lot more rarity, a lot more, the prices were just going up. And so it was a scary time. It was a scary time to be a collector.
It really was.
But at the same time, all of that FOMO, even collecting retro games, I have a bunch of Saturn games that I'm looking at on my shelf over here right now that I have not played, and I spent so much stupid money on.
You don't know if they work still.
And I don't even know if they work. They may have rotted. I don't know. So it's like, that was a bad call. And it's different if you are if you're like a shelf collector where you just want to have the items and that is the fun for you, then sure, that's fine. But for me, I got these games with the intention of like being able to play them. And I have not done that.
You want the ultimate JRPG collection.
I want the ultimate JRPG collection, which I kind of feel like I almost have.
I think you kind of do.
I think you do.
Out of all of us, I think you do. Well, I don't know about dolls. I've never seen your collection, doll. I don't know what you have.
I don't have nearly as much. I don't have a lot of like. He has all the retro.
I have all the things. He's got some rarities that I don't have, but
Okay.
But like, there's like he has majority of everything. So like,
Gotcha.
My collection is not nearly as expensive as his.
And that was the thing
your guys's too.
Yeah.
And that was what I wanted to do, was like I wanted to curate a library of games in the genre that I would be likely to at least want to try. And as time has gone by, am less about curating a library of every game in the genre and more about curating a library of games that I'm genuinely want to play soon.
Quality stuff.
Yeah, or have played digitally. And that's something we should probably talk about, because there are going to be people that they probably have already commented this and clicked off the video or closed the podcast. But just to throw it out there for people that are still listening that have this thought. Yes, being content creators on YouTube and whatnot, we do get codes for games for review, for streaming, whatever. So you might say like, well, it's different for you because you don't have to buy games. They give them to you and you play them. And I mean, for some content people, that might be true. But I think for us as physical collectors, being able to play the game digitally, doesn't solve our main problem, which is we want to
FOMO.
Possess the physical game.
Yeah.
We want to own them, not rely on, digital platforms 5-10 years from now.
I don't trust Nintendo to maintain a digital store past 15 years. I think history has showed that they're not going to do that.
No.
So like I will still buy the games, and my wife hates this because I think when I started doing this, she was like, "Oh, great, we can save money because you don't have to buy the games." And I'm like, "I got some bad news, hon.
It's not going to happen.
We're still buying the games."
Hey. You're saving some money because you know which ones you don't want to buy physically.
That's true. Yeah, there have been some of the games that I reviewed that I ended up not purchasing.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, all the games I want, I've had codes for. They're on my list now. I need to buy them.
for me, the minority of games that I've reviewed, I've chosen not to buy. Most of them I have bought, and it's nice because like I'm notoriously hard to shop for. My wife's like, you buy everything for yourself. So what I'll do is a game that I have already played for review, I'll typically put it as like a gift, like suggestion. So I'll end up with these games for my birthday or for Christmas or whatever. And that solves a problem for her as well, because she knows what to get me. So I've, compiling a list of all the games that I'm reviewing and putting that together for her because the holidays are coming up. And I fully expect to have like 5 PlayStation 5 games sitting under the tree.
One of the perks, though, of waiting is sales. Like we talked about this earlier in the podcast, but we know certain publishers are notorious for having sales, and we can map them out. Like we could always rely on Square Enix to have some sort of physical sale, as well as Bandai Namco and Sega and Atlas.
Atlas will put their games on sale 3 weeks after after they come out.
It'll be by like $30, half off,
it'll be half price
very fast
within a year, because
which is funny because Atlas used to be so expensive, I know. Like at some point,
I think they've got FOMO. They've got a little FOMO themselves. They're like, we don't want anybody to not buy this game. We got to make sure we sell these units.
I think when they were, in Sega's fold, they just adopted the Sega, distribution. That's why they have so many, and then they go on sale so super quickly. Not like they used to when before Sega.
Yeah.
And I do think that's likely to change as things move more digital first. Like we may see Atlas kind of go back to the way it was where it's harder to come by, and we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But
the ebbs and flows.
The next year or two,
it's great.
That's going to be an issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know like a lot of people will say like, okay, like I don't want to have to buy all these games day one or, have to pick and choose. But like there are other opportunities for you to do things in your local community, like your library.
The library.
If you want to wait for a sale and you want to play a game right now or test the game and see whether you like to buy it or not. Because there's a lot of games
honestly.
Exactly. Because there's been so many.
Physically?
Exactly. There's been so many situations where like I've a bit unsure about a game, whether I'm going to like it. It looks like a thing that I would like. And then I go to the library, I see it there and I'm like, all right, I'll bring it home. I'll try it out. I'll play through a little bit of it and see, is this game I want to buy like physically? And
share your most recent library finds, because you pick up some really like recent releases, and I think people will be amazed by that.
Forgot to grab it, but but I did grab the other day, like a week ago. I picked up not just 1 but 2 like recent releases to test out and see if I liked them, and that is Silent Hill F and Ghost of Yote. They're 2 games that I'm going to pick up physically at some point. And I was just like, all right, I just want to test it out because I'm not like prepared to play through the whole game right now. I just don't have a lot of time, but I wanted to test and see like how I feel about it. Especially with Silent F, I was like, all right, am I going to like this version of Silent Hill? Like, is this a game that I really want to play through? And like, yeah, that's a great game. So I'm gonna pick it up physically. And there's really cool ways, like for those who have libraries that have video games in your area, if they have an app, you can go on their app and you can reserve games before they come out. So you can put a hold on it. And so whenever it gets like shipped to the library, they'll just let you know, like, hey, it's in.
Hey, come pick it up.
Exactly.
It's your time.
Yeah. And so you can play some of these games if you want to play it, experience it, and then pick it up maybe on sale for half off down the line. Or if you just want to check whether they are the kind of game you like.
Yeah.
Take advantage, like support your local library. First off, it's a great thing.
Underutilized, great thing that we have available too. So many of us.
Exactly.
And also, if you're not a physical collector and you are a person who just purchases games typically digitally, this is a great way for you to save a lot of money. You can check out these games for how long do you get to check it out for? Do you know?
I mean, honestly, at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
and
yeah.
then if
you
no
can
one
renew
else,
it, right?
Then you can renew it. If there's no one else has it on hold, you can just keep it until somebody wants it. And so
you can check out the games from the library for free and just play them and finish them if you want to. That's a great way to save money, rather than subscribing to a game service or paying for a game digitally, right out of the gate. That's a fantastic resource. Just use that.
Yes,
exactly.
It's amazing. And underutilized.
I will say though, when we were talking about testing out games to see whether or not they're worth buying because of their physical build, there are some games we can't do that with. Like usually games that are exclusively printed, say through limited run games. That's the only way to obtain a physical copy. You don't know how good that build's going to be. Is there going to be a lot of day one patches? Like, is it worth actually owning this physically on your shelf if it's not, if it's going to be reliant on the internet to boot up at some point?
Yeah.
So
especially
I think that's
game breaking.
what I don't like about the Sega model right now. They're just allocating way too many games to limited run as the only option to buy it physically, and it's disappointing.
Yeah, and it's like, it seems like the track record is like if there is something, like especially if there's a game breaking bug and that is found, they're not going to go back and
you're gonna
fix
be
that.
Sorry,
it is what it is. It would be like
What's
a patch.
The one that came out that was like
there was a recent one. Like
something
Toomba
ghost.
was bad.
Yes,
Toomba was bad.
Tomba's bad.
There was one about a ghost. What was it called?
I know.
Ghost.
What's the Shinu? What's the? It's not. It's like Ninja Gaiden. It's not
Shinobi.
Shinobi. I think had a bad build on it too.
Oh, really?
It needed some patches.
Outbound Ghost. Was it called Outbound Ghost? There was
there is a game called that.
literally broken. I don't know if that was LRG.
A couple years ago.
Might have been another.
It was supposed to be like Paper Mario.
Yeah,
they were not LRG.
Yeah, it was some other press,
but that seems to be right?
It wasn't a limited print press. Actually, it was a retail release, but it was still awful.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay.
That's even more.
Remembered that.
Yeah,
but if build quality is a concern, like for me, it's not. I'll be honest. Like if a game requires a patch, that's fine. Most games don't. Like if you look at the PlayStation 5 library, something like 75 to 80% of games will run just fine without any kind of download.
If it has a patch, it doesn't necessarily mean it's a necessary one. I just don't like it when it's a necessary one. It doesn't have it doesn't have the whole base game on there. Like a lot of PS5 games, unfortunately, are trending for Microsoft.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or if it's game breaking, like you can't actually physically beat this game unless you get to patch it. So like one day if there's granted,
the server's no longer there.
If they get rid of the server or anything happens where you can't patch it,
you had to reset your actual console.
Yeah.
Like, I know some people were upset, like, you just had to download one time. It's fine. Like, think again.
Yeah. I mean, we're hopefully with things like the PlayStation and whatnot, they'll have those servers open for a while. But nothing's ever forever. So you never know.
Nothing's guaranteed.
Exactly.
Not directly, but speaks a little bit to kind of this collector mentality and the desire to have access to games in the future. I think it's very telling that this is the only media that is not easily accessible using modern hardware, modern technology. I can read books that are hundreds of years old. I can watch movies from the dawn of film I can download them on Amazon. I can get a DVD. There are multiple ways for me to do that. I can listen to music on digital streaming, or I can download a song digitally, or I can buy a CD. I can buy a frickin' vinyl. The oldest like technology. I can buy a brand new vinyl. I can buy cassette tapes. Those are kind of making a comeback too.
Yeah, they are.
There are so many ways to experience all of these older art forms. Video games, there just isn't. Like when Nintendo releases a digital only game, say on the Switch eShop or whatever, and that Switch eShop shuts down someday, you can't play it.
You just hope for them to bring it back. But
they're not, cross your fingers, and they're going to charge you for it again. They're going to charge you. They will charge for you
a subscription service or something.
Yep.
It's not like, yes, film. A lot of film has survived, but there's a lot of film that hasn't. Like there's so many movies that ended up like on VHS that never got ported to DVDs. Or there's also like
there's lost media.
There's also like renditions of like films. So like basically there's some like, when a film goes from DVD to Blu-ray, they might change the look of the film or the grain or the things like that.
An abridged version that was TV only.
It loses its like aesthetic that originally like was part of the actual like reel of like how it looked. So like your experience of the movie might shift or change, or like let's say with Star Wars, you might how hard it is to find the original versions of those movies. The original
cut of those movies, yeah.
Exactly. So like you'll never get the original it's harder for most people to get the original experience of said movie.
I'm definitely not ignoring the existence of like just
exactly.
That happening. Like that's
if you look at TV shows, they have, edited episodes that are on streaming
platforms.
They just remove them because they're not, acceptable nowadays, maybe because of the subjects they covered or what they said. And so there's just a lot of erasure, I think, happening, unfortunately, in the digital front. I don't know when that's going to happen to games. I think it actually kind of has with patches. All the people who are concerned about censorship. That is a thing. I'm not going to say it's not a thing. Sometimes it's a little overblown.
It gets overblown by some people, but it is a thing. It is a thing.
It could, encapsulate a bigger piece of the pie, which is concerning to everyone.
Yeah, so, especially when we're talking about like this is the thing that I struggle with as somebody who's like art first. Like for me, film, TV, games, music. For me, it's an artistic medium. It's not just an entertainment product. Like a lot of people see video games and TV and movies as just products. Like the Marvel Cinematic Universe is a product that they are selling to you, and I buy it and I enjoy it, and that's it. Like for me, that's not how I view this stuff. I view it as an artistic medium, and I enjoy it as art first. The idea of these things just going away and being built in such a way that it's inevitable. That's the thing about it. Like if people had preserved those films that are now lost media, we would still have them. There was no inevitability about those things going away. It was just poor planning. There are reasons why it happened, but it wasn't inevitable. With video games, it is inevitable. Yeah. They're going to go away. And that sucks. That just sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of like having people online who are so passionate about it and who have like the know-how to sit there and be like, all right, I have this game. I'm going to now keep, rip this, put this on my computer or put this in like the archive of the internets.
Going to make it available.
And there's just a lot of people who are working through that in terms of like, the Video Game History Foundation and things like that. There are people out there. I wish we could access the things that are in the History Foundation. I know it's there for historical, like
it's like a vault
of things that we can't access, which is like, it's cool, but also kind of
nice to have public domain of some aspect of it at least.
Yeah. And there's ways to do that through like the Internet Archive and stuff like that has things on there that you can probably find. But like that's why you have to rely on like the consumers who are doing these things, because it seems like a lot of the people who own the IP don't care.
Nintendo is deeply disinterested in their back catalog.
Yeah.
It's very disappointing. I don't understand it.
They'll market, something like say Sony with their 20th anniversary. What year was it? The controller stuff and the new
last year. Wasn't it last year?
Yeah, like the anniversary 30, sort of accessories 25? And consoles. Like they will monetize that nostalgia, but they don't always, care about preservation of their actual history.
No, exactly. Because like, was it even the previous president of the PlayStation,
Jim Ryan,
Sony games. Jim Ryan, like he was on quote saying many times that he doesn't care. Like he did not.
He doesn't
care.
think people care about it.
Yeah.
Why would you want to play that game? It looks like garbage. We got better looking games now.
Exactly. There was like a deep like cynicism towards their own like IPs or the history of their own like brand. And so like I don't know why that's the case.
Don't disrespect your consumers like that.
Like don't also disrespect your like history. Like the reason you are where you are, like the reason you're so popular is because of those things. And like there is love there. And so like it's weird. It's like this weird relationship that they have with like the past. And I don't get it. I
think they're just so afraid that they'll be stuck in the past. They're trying to advance forward, but I think they're losing sight of what made them great in the first place, for sure.
Yeah. So let's make a bunch of third-person action games that are all kind of similar.
To be honest, like the money is in the new,
good, but
and that's and I get that. But
and then they
like
do
we said earlier,
things to tie back to I think monetize the past. Like
we said earlier, the people like us, the people listening to this podcast, are the hardest of hardcore fans of these publishers and studios, and they need to understand that. Like, if you want to monetize something, fine. I'm willing to pay for the thing that has value to me. I will pay for it. I'm not asking you to give it to me, but like you have to continue to make it available to me. Otherwise I will find a ROM. You know what I mean? If it's not available, I will find a ROM.
Yeah. I do wonder if they're trying to make some of the past stuff, some scarcity there, because they're trying to make it sound like the new stuff could also be, rare at some point. So you need to hop on this if you want to own it. And I don't know. I don't know if there's a long run thing in here. Weird psychology.
I think the only reason that the publishers would be interested in that is if they need to get a lot of sales out the gate for shareholders. Like they don't benefit. Sony doesn't benefit. Yeah, like they don't benefit from the aftermarket at all. So like a game shooting up in value because it's rare doesn't matter to Sony or Square or whatever. But it does matter from the perspective of like they have sales goals that they need to hit within 90 days of a game coming out. And if it doesn't hit it, it was a failure. Even if that game is sold objectively millions of copies, it's a failure. And so they rely on us to want to go out there and buy it right away, despite the fact that, like we said, they're disincentivizing us to buy it day one all the time by raising the prices and making it difficult.
Having us choose them to spend our money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think also the problem is like we touched upon, like when we talked about AAA to AA aspects, is that like their fear is that they're stuck in a AAA perspective. So they're spending like, $200 to $300 million on these experiences and these games that they're building. And for them to like go back, and Pokemon's a whole different, that's a different, that's something. we don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Let's not kick that hornet's nest today. Yeah.
Not today, but like,
sometime.
If you're spending $300 million, are you going to like then either go into a niche, genre, or are you going to bring up a game that is probably old and maybe nostalgic to a fraction of your, because you have all these like young kids who aren't nostalgic to that. So like they're spending, like they need to learn how to balance their money, balance their development, and build experiences that can also shine their old catalog, but also not spend $300 million on doing that. Like just do like as Pokemon does, $13 million on a basic, whatever game.
Yeah.
And it still appeals to fans. Like you're still spending $13 million and you're making that back tenfold.
You're making that back like in 5 minutes upon
exactly. So like, despite what people might think about Pokemon, like they're somehow winning the finance game, the money game, the money game.
That is the and I don't know if is it fair to call that FOMO? I guess it's FOMO in the sense not of like I'm afraid this game is going to be rare, but I'm afraid I'm going to miss out because all my friends are playing it, and if I don't play it now,
I don't want to get spoiled for the single.
It's a very community-based thing.
I don't want to be spoiled, and I want to be able to talk. I want to be part of the conversation. And that to me honestly has become far and away more the FOMO I feel now. Is like I want to be able to be part of the conversation, And I do have obviously I'm like, it's stupid of me
You're able
to say
to
that
review a lot of games
because I do
that you
get
would
codes
have.
and stuff. So it's not as big of a deal, but that's the FOMO I feel now is like, I want to finish this game because I got another game coming up that I want to be able to talk about too. And it's like, I got to rush,
Yeah.
And
So the thing with the codes, would you say because you have to play it before the embargo often? Like you feel like you don't have that window of conversations while you're playing it to, converse with other people. Like that's what
That's
I
true.
true on that personally.
That's true. Other content people can talk about, the game with.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
limited
not a
scope
big
there.
it's not a big conversation for sure, which is a bummer.
No.
And
You
then
lose
you have to
that
like move on to the
feel.
next experience. Like it's a very short window where you could talk about it while you're experiencing it.
So I'm already
it's
into
sad.
the next game, and when people are starting to talk about the game that I wanted to talk about,
Has been
and it's too late. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
a little too late.
Yeah. That is, I guess, the double-edged sword of
It is.
doing content creation in this kind of capacity.
Yeah.
But
But going back to games and collecting, I think all of us kind of echoed, we feel less FOMO than we did maybe 5 years ago.
yeah.
At least that's kind of what I'm picking up here. Maybe
Yeah.
3 years ago. I don't know. Like for me, it's definitely much different than 5 years ago. And I'm kind of happy because I feel like when we don't feel so rushed to buy a lot of, physical games, we're more selective of which ones we do eventually put on the shelf. And I just think overall that's a better collecting habit if you are someone who likes to, of course, have a curated collection of games you want to play.
Yeah.
And a library of games you think are just, top-notch experiences that you want to, keep on the shelf there for whatever reason.
Exactly.
And it also feels good because you don't bear the burden of like the financial burden,
Yes.
the time burden, the guilt
Space.
of stock, the space burden.
Yeah.
Like there are so many things that you take on when you buy a game based on FOMO that ends up sitting on your shelf for ages.
Yes.
Like there are so many negative things that happened just from that purchase. Maybe you'll eventually play the game one day. Maybe you'll love it and you can justify retroactively all of that. But chances are, if you're like me, you might not. You might never play it.
A handful of games that may shoot up in price, whereas you bought all these other games. Again, regression to the mean.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So in general, FOMO decreasing for me and hopefully for many of you as well.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Curate, choose the games carefully that you want to have on your
Do what's
shelf.
mostly help. Yeah. At the end of the day, do what's healthy for you. Like at the end of the, that's the key. Like if you like to buy every game and that's feasible for you, awesome. Go.
And you enjoy it, and you don't feel a crushing guilt from having games like I do. Like
exactly,
good. Do it.
Burden.
Enjoy yourself.
You have to move with all this stuff.
Do what you love, and as long as this doesn't become unhealthy, that's key.
Yeah,
that's it.
Enjoy your life. You only get one of them. Enjoy it as much as you're able to.
That's moral of the story.
And let's hope fewer companies choose limited run. That's all I'll say.
Please, I'm so sick of it now. I'm just so sick of it. Like,
yeah, please,
guys, they're not run well. I'm not going to start another rant. They're just not run well. There got to be like, I feel like there should be space in the market for a company to do something similar, but do it well, right? Like,
they have been. I think there's been a couple companies that have emerged. I think IM Input's been doing pretty well, even when they have fumbles. I think they course correct.
Yeah, it's all about
like
the communication.
The Outer Wilds, for example.
Yeah, I guess IM 8-bit's good, but like they don't tend to put out games that I'm super personally interested in. I think I got like true. Kentucky Route Zero. Was that from them?
I'm sorry.
And
you didn't like
Stray. I got from them.
Stray. The game I streamed. Oh my god. Sea of Stars.
Sea of Stars.
Was that from them? I got that from Limited Run, I thought.
Limited Run had one version if you did the Kickstarter.
That's the one I got.
But IM 8-bit had their own edition, which I got, and also a retail edition. Mm-hmm. So what I like about IM 8-bit is they do usually their own edition if you want to play for a slipcover or something on their website, or they have a retail version. You don't have to worry too much about.
Yeah, that's true.
And that feels like a much better model.
I like it so much more.
You put it out at retail, and then if you want to have a special thing that's just for your super fans that want to buy it on your website, cool. Exactly. I might do that. I might do it.
That's the perfect way.
I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so IM 8-bit does it. Who else does?
We had some that I think have kind of crashed and burned. I think premium edition games, they had something cool for a while, but then I think they kind of changed their model and they've been having issues with getting games out like Limited Run. Super rare games, I think they do well. The issue I have with them is they have a limited quantity, and when it's gone, it's gone. And they don't go to retail. None of those releases. I think they're only sold through them.
Okay.
And you have to import that now, which is sucky for
that's annoying, yeah.
a lot of people.
I would love a company that does kind of what Limited Run has done, which is like grab these indie RPGs and, you know, put them out with nice collector's editions if you want, or a decent physical, but like do it well. I don't, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have like super strict criteria. Just like do it
well, guys. Do a good job. Do
a good job.
Do your job well, please.
Have pride in what you do. Have some
exactly.
pride.
Yeah.
And
like pride is good.
And my biggest thing is like, all right, like you can miss the deadlines and things like that, but like also communicate that. Like don't sit there and wait until like
so key.
Like
it happens. Yeah, like I get it, but let me know.
Yeah, like give us like weeks in advance for those people who want to like plan like what they want to do. Like, do they want to keep this, or are they going to move over? Like, it feels like a little disingenuous to do that, just so like you're kind of making sure that you keep their sale, because it might be those people who might cancel their.
Also, like, just copy and paste their apology.
I know
email.
it's the same.
Like, it was so funny in the emails from them about Trails in particular. They're like, we really value you, our fans. And I'm like, I'm not a fan of you.
No.
Like, I'm a fan of the game. I don't care about you. You are the like printing press.
The mechanism
that makes
the monopoly here. We don't
that
like
makes the game come out in a form that I can hold. I don't care about you. I'm not a fan of you. Is anybody a fan of like limited run games as a company? Why would you be a fan of that?
Buys all their number of releases and are fans.
Maybe,
I think they're few and far between because they have
maybe it's because they legitimately love them, I guess. But like to me, it feels like being a fan of the company that ships the bread to the store that you buy the bread for. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a fan of that company. I don't know that they exist. In a perfect world, I shouldn't ever need to know they exist because the game should just show up.
I could be a fan of them, but they do not do a good job.
But the funny thing about it's like the bar for doing a good job is so low that I shouldn't even notice it. They should just get the game on time, and like it should be in good shape, and like I don't know. Anyway, sorry. We need to wrap this up.
Job well.
We need to wrap this up.
We were wrapping it up and then we got emotional again.
We did. This is just, collecting gets this out of us, I think, every time.
We get a little turned up.
It's very passionate.
Turned out.
Passionate.
It's a passion hobby.
What's the
turn down for what? I'm just
kidding. We get
turned.
What? Is that is that bad? Am I turned? I don't know. Anyway, I feel slightly turned by it. Let me know in the comments if I'm using that wrong.
I think you are, but it's okay.
Let Branden know.
You might not know what I mean, though. I might mean it. I might mean what I'm saying. We'll see.
But anyways, thanks everyone for listening to the podcast. Thank you all of our channel members for helping us grow and having an amazing Discord and just supporting us that way. We appreciate it. We're looking forward to our discussions on Golden Sun next month for those who want to get in our book club.
The book club.
On our Discord.
Oh, yeah. Come on out.
Check out our membership options. But yeah, I'm glad we got back to collecting topics again. But look forward to more episodes from us in the future, and let us know more about how you guys feel about collecting JRPGs this day and age. Do you feel that FOMO bite, or are you feeling a little bit more hands off the wheel when it comes to trying to buy and build up your gaming collections?
Yep. Let us know in the comments.
Let us know. Anyway, thanks all, and peace.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.